for the 68th Annual Gala slated for Saturday, January 29th. How many of you attended last year? Wasn't it fun? This year is going to be even better, so you don't want to miss it. Our keynote speaker is the president of ABC News, Kim Godwin. Kim Godwin. Get your hand clap for that. Coming to Clayton County. Yes. Yes. You want to say that again, sir?
That is Mr. Manning, the principal of Forest Park High School. That is his wife.
Yes. So when we talk about connecting and keeping relationships going, this is truly how we do it. But again, Clayton County is definitely on the map. So you don't want to miss that one. And visit the Chamber's website to purchase your table and tickets for this highly anticipated event. It will sell out quickly, I promise you. So at this time, I would like to invite Valencia Williamson. She is our illustrious Chamber President and CEO to the podium. She's going to introduce today's program. So Valencia, if you will come out here and relieve me of my duties.
Thank you, Cherise. I am going to give Taylor a hand because we've got several slides that we're going to show here. So I want to make sure she's got the clicker as I've just plugged it in. But before I introduce our panel, I'll have them go ahead and come on up and find their seats. And as they're making their way up, I would just like to take a moment to recognize the Chamber's Government Affairs Committee. If you've served on the Government Affairs Committee at one point or currently, please raise your hands here in the audience. Thank you all so very much for your engagement in the Chamber. If you're wondering what the Government Affairs Committee does or who they are, let me just let you know that these are the folks in our community who support and help us advocate for key issues such as workforce, education, transportation, and issues related to economic development. So we really appreciate the work of our Government Affairs Committee. I will say that if you have not, or if you are not a part of this committee and would like to be, definitely see me following this. This is a great way for you to get engaged in the Chamber and to understand and stay abreast of what's happening in your community. I'll also add some exciting news that I'll share with you here. The Chamber is planning to host its annual day at the Capitol. However, we'll be back in conjunction with our 5 sister chambers. So in February, in fact, it's February 1st, so be sure to mark your calendar. We will be joining forces with the Fayette and Henry County Chambers, as well as South Fulton and the ATL Airport Chamber, to go to the Capitol as one voice, South Metro Atlanta. And I think that's very important that we go as a collective. It's great to go as our own respective entities, but when we go as one voice, our voice is louder and it gets heard. So I want to make sure that you all are aware of that, as you will each be invited to participate in our annual Day at the Capitol event. I see everybody's getting settled. So as for the format of today's session, we will give everyone an opportunity to first introduce yourselves and talk a little bit about the committees that you serve on, as well as give some key highlights of this last year. Then we'll circle back and we will recap the special session. I'll ask some questions as it relates to upcoming priorities for the 2022 legislative session. And then as time permits at the end, we'll open it for Q&A for this audience. I know we have several members here who wanted to get in front of our delegation. If you do not have an opportunity to ask your question here today before we adjourn, let's be sure to get you connected for one-on-one time with our legislators. That's what they are here for. And first of all, thank you to the legislators who have joined us today. I just leaned over to my associate here, Chris Williams, with Georgia Power and said, wow, what a great group we have here today. Thank you for your service to our residents of Clayton County and to our community. And thank you for taking the time to always be supportive and engaged with Clayton County Chamber. So with that, I'm actually going to start with introductions with Representative Rhonda Berneau, who also serves as the chair of the Clayton County Delegation. I'm gonna give you my microphone actually, and I'm just gonna speak loudly here. I'll let you get started. Representative Berneau chairs the Clayton County Delegation. So with that, I'll turn it over to you.
Good afternoon, everybody. I serve District 77, which is a portion of the city of Riverdale, unincorporated Riverdale, unincorporated Morrow, and unincorporated Jonesboro. I was elected in 2016, and I've lived in Clayton County for 26 years in the same basic neighborhood when we first moved here. I currently serve on governmental affairs, small business, higher education, economic development, and tourism. And then this year, the speaker assigned me to the special committee on election integrity. I'm a 2008 graduate of Leadership Clayton, and I also served on the Leadership Clayton board for several years. When I retired from Clayton County Public Schools in 2018, and during that time, I served in a lot of different positions. The one I enjoyed the most was I was community relations liaison, and during that time, that's when we created the Principal Partner Day, which allowed businesses to come into our schools and take on the role of the principal, and that has been a very successful program, and I think that we're still doing it now. The accomplishments for business are that, if you know that Atlanta Tech has a campus right here in Clayton County, and so they were in need. They've been looking for the center of
environmental justice. I'm working on a couple of initiatives and I've had some air quality bills out there dealing with the chemicals that are in firefighting foams and consumer products. But also, just a quick story, I went to go get tire repaired yesterday, and this is the second time it's happened. And when I walked into that space, immediately the smell of the rubber causes me to get a headache, or I feel nauseous. I was asking some questions to the employees and come to find out there's a high rate of asthma and other things, and it's like inhaling secondhand smoke, and that's very important to me. If we're going to be in a community that's servicing our consumers, we also have to protect our workers and our companies. So I'm working on that bill. I have some agriculture legislation. The biggest thing that I did this year, along with my colleagues, was the issue of dealing with the unemployment debacle caused by the Department of Labor. And they were using the legislative body to be the liaison to why the Department of Labor wasn't functioning and approving claims, paying out claims in a timely manner. We took on the system, and we have discovered, as you probably have seen and will see in the news, that there's a big, huge racial disparity gap that has caused these horrific problems where people have lost their house, their cars, and other areas. We want people to go back to work. Let me say that again. As business people, we want people to go back to work. People need to go back to work. We have to continue to run these businesses, but we have to do it in a way that's beneficial for everybody. And then I've also worked in the area of unemployment and employment, is removing the age cap for protections for older workers. In Georgia, the state law says that after the age of at 70, you're no longer protected by state rights. Well, which is ridiculous because we have a lot of people that work beyond 70. And we also know that, I like to laugh at half of the people in Georgia General Assembly, if they got fired tomorrow, they couldn't get a job to be protected after 70. And so I'm working on that bill. And then the last bill that I am proud of and will continue to work on is the Crown Act, which is a hair discrimination bill that prohibits us from being discriminated against a class of people in the workplace, and school systems, and housing. So those are a couple of things that I'm working on. I do have a project called the Confess Project. That's a mental health project that we work with within the Clayton County and other county barbershops.